having hot takes, like there's honestly no editing, and it's not like I'm good at editing video anyways. So it's just like lots of hot takes. I have like I think about 17 or something. It's just a bunch of things that I thought about. I was like, hey, I might do this, but I delayed it by like a few months because of how I work as a person, unfortunately. So now it's probably even better that I actually kind of delayed it because now I can see like, hey, did my views change? But mostly, I think most of them really change. I think like there's a bit more than just like changing and just understanding more. At least I feel like I understood more, but that's really debatable. Uh, this this hot takes probably piss a lot of people off, and you might be one of them. So yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna watch the stream, so there will be some timestamps, and this might be last like 1 or 2 hours, probably 2 or 3. But yeah, I'll just get started. Sunshine is boring. Yeah, I don't know. I think this out of all of them, this might be the least hot take. I think Sunshine is extremely boring, and yeah. I think even as much as people love Escanor, his Sunshine was honestly not that interesting. Like he's just like really cocky, and he says things like, "Who decided that?" Like, "Oh, you cannot," like, "How dare you challenge me?" And then he does like something that's like not that interesting, and then he beats them. Like, what made Escar interesting was his quotes, not Sunshine. Sunshine was not that interesting. And when Mael got it, he used it like once or twice. He threw a nuke at Original Demon, which I guess was kind of cool, but this is like the strongest grace, by the way. This is the strongest grace, and this like that's what it is, by the way. I think Soria and Tarmia, Ocean and Tornado, I think? Yeah, Ocean and Tornado combined together was way more interesting than whatever Sunshine did. Like, Sunshine just if you think it's cool, it's because he's getting carried by Escanor. And maybe Maya, if you like the character. But otherwise, I don't think it's even that interesting. And somehow, the Grace of Light was even worse. That's the funny thing. Somehow, like, Rueduciel, like, his grace was somehow worse for no reason. Yeah, I don't think I have to say that much about this. The deal one you could talk about is maybe like how Gowan, or I don't want to say her name, but like yeah, probably Sir Gowan or something. But yeah, Gowan is yeah. There's nothing to say about Gowan. Even if you read the sequel, there's not much like, oh wow, this person used Sunshine. That's really cool. I guess like the only thing you think of Sunshine is like, wow, is this person gonna get friend zone? That's what you think about. And it's like, oh, it's a pretty strong grace, but even then, like, who really cares? Like, you care because of the character. Yeah. Okay, this is gonna make the people really angry. I am not a big fan of Escanor, so take this with a really big grain of salt, the biggest one you can find. Escanor is a better person than character. Yeah, yes, he's actually a really nice guy. Actually, yeah, he's just a nice guy. I think him and Diane are probably the nicest person you can find in the team. Yeah, there's nothing really bad to say about him as a person. He's just like a nice guy. I think like he's just so overrated that like it's not even that he's like bad. I think he's mid as a character. Like he's just so overrated that like people put him as like the #1 character, but like in reality he's like not even close. I mean, I'm biased, so that's why I think. But I think in reality, when compared to our characters, he's probably like in the middle, or like he's probably still somewhere like, or like maybe like 1 or 2 tiers below the top 2 characters in this series, like in terms of character. Dude, his power scaling it's fucking stupid. Yeah, I don't want to say this. I'll piss a lot of people off saying this, but Escanor is a nice guy, very nice human, willing to sacrifice his life to like help Meliodas get his goal. But holy shit, none of the thing he did like honestly really make any sense. Like the only we can say is because like he believes in himself, like which is kind of true. Like you need that, but like what the fuck? Like Sunshine like would kill him, and it did. Like and then he needed the glasses to sustain him, but like at the same time he loved like he died when he was like 43 or something, and then he stopped. He used those glasses for like 16 years or something. So he went around like 20 or 30 years living with Sunshine, which is a walking time bomb in him. like this is already a problem. I'm gonna be honest because like oh my god, like Sario and Tormio's vessel kind of got fucking blown up when they did it. Like you can argue that like oh because they're being the vessel for the grace and the host for the archangel body, which is true, but like Sario and Tormio kind of sucks. I mean they don't suck. They're good, but they're just not like I think there's like their grace is a lot worse than Sunshine, and they're like a lot weaker than Escanor, and especially Mael, which kind of makes sense. But like those people, they lasted like a few weeks, a few days, probably a few days. I'm not too sure, but either a few, like even if you take like a few months, you're comparing like to like someone that lived like 20 or 30 years of Sunshine, and like and here's what Sunshine did to Escanor. He becomes a fucking balloon. He's like those, you know, those shitty balloon that like you see like they're like waving and stuff. That's basically what Escanor becomes. He becomes a fucking balloon, and then he's like about to explode, but then he doesn't, which is kind of crazy. Um. Okay, so other than like how he's not even compatible, like the thing that really I want to question is that since Escanor is the worst human and probably the weakest person to have it, like to use it, like when he's at night, he has like fucking 15 power level or something, and he's like just really bad. What if someone like Gilfunder or Zaratras or Dreyfus or whoever pick up Sunshine, like would they just do better than him? Like that's the thing that I'm really confused about. I guess like the reason is because like he's like confident in himself or something, but like yeah, I just don't understand a lot of Escanor, and it like even if it did, it kind of I just don't think you can logically explain it. Like I know it's anime, but like at the same time, it's so weird. Like Mael, yeah, I mean Escanor should be worse than Mael in physical and especially magic. Like actually, he should be worse in him than physical. Like Escanor in his base form is fucking garbage. Like he's so bad in base form. Like he's like actually terrible. Like he would sneeze and stuff. Like I know it's night, but like it's at night, but like I actually think him being better at magic than physical would make sense, but I don't know. And and the crazy thing is like you can say like oh what he like defended against the Indra while while Gilfunder, Greymoor, and who's that guy? Hauser couldn't like what the fuck? Like this guy is like 15 base power level and said like oh he fought Meliodas, but now he doesn't have the power, he can do it. So dude, there's just a lot of things to say like that doesn't go well with Skinner. I think another problem that like it makes him kind of worse. Even I don't know what's kind of worse, but he had to play a tug of war with Sunshine, which is maybe I should talk about that, but I think that's like the problem because Mael being presented as the strongest archangel and Escanor being this fucking dude that walks around with 15 power level really I think really kills it. Like what's that? Oh, Naruto. Like imagine Madara and Nagato. Like Nagato having you like Nagato's keeping the Rinnegan and he's like like imagine him being stronger than Madara. like actually that's actually a better comparison I think, but like Madara in no way is weaker than Nagato. Like maybe Kid Madara, but like Nagato is godlike, but Madara is like god. It's actually god tier, and Nagato has this Uzumaki genes too. Wow, Madara doesn't. Like Escar has nothing above Mael for all we know. Maybe like willpower because like he didn't get mentally fucked over. That's like wow, that's crazy. Um, I think I do like Escanor a bit more now. Actually, I probably like him more because he's just a really nice guy. But like his fan, like I don't know if it's just his fans, but I think like the biggest problem is that the people that usually make things worse are usually the loudest people. So that's kind of the problem. Like just because like someone's the loudest doesn't necessarily mean they're right. Like I'm probably one of them, but you probably get what I mean. Like if you work at retail or just go to retail, the at the customer service, if there's just someone yelling, there's a customer yelling at like a person working, they're probably not the smartest person. Like I'll say that much. They're probably not the smartest person, but just because they're the loudest, then you hear them. Rather than a person's like, okay, I understand what's going on, and then like blah blah blah, we'll settle this like in like calm manner. But the other person's just yelling. So I think yeah, I think his like like it's like some people, I'll just say some, I don't want to say all because that's just like disingenuous. Like there's actually like nice Escanor people like that like Escanor, and they're like genuinely not people that want to like ruin your life. So the thing I have a grudge with him is that like his fans are like fucking Itachi fans, like the one that say like whatever Itachi does is right, and they're like the same overrated character. Like I think like Itachi is still a fucking good character, but like holy shit, like you just see people yapping about him for a long, long time, and like I think the same exact thing about Escanor. Like you would see comments out of nowhere and say who decided that when he's not even present. Like it's so annoying. Like it was maybe funny the first two times, and then it just started getting annoying. And the worst part is that like this kind of shit, it feels like the writer does it to like authorize. I mean, I don't know if that's the right word, but like imagine people say like always say Itachi beating Madara, right? Imagine like Itachi actually fights Madara and he beats him, and then like while all other things are present, like Madara beating, I mean not beating, like he's doing his other stuff, like he begins with Jinchuriki and stuff. Like imagine that actually happens. It's like that because it actually happened on screen. It kind of makes it worse. So that's what I have with him. I don't. He's personally a mid-tier character. There's a lot of good things to say about Escanor. I just feel like the good things he has, like, doesn't really overshadow the bad things he brings or he affects in the story. But it's not really his fault. I just think him sharing Sunshine with Miles were really, like, kind of, like, killed both characters, I'm gonna be honest. And Miles was a victim, and so was Escanor. Um, it's fucking hard to say. Yeah, he's pretty interesting, I actually think. I think like in the early seasons he was really interesting because like you kind of don't know shit about him, and I think you really learn to like how Meta really function as a person in chapter 197 or one. It's 190 something. It's after it's like during the battle where he like fucking uppercuts Squadron, and then you start to really kind of like know who he is, and like for those 30 chapters or 20ish chapters, like until the when Dan like want to do a good thing, make Elizabeth remember things. That's like when like you really learn everything about him for the most part. Even though like, there's like arc where you learn like oh Meliodas was actually part of Stigma and etc. all those things. So I mean that was pretty cool. But like, dude, this Meliodas is a fucking asshole, dude. Like I don't know if I still have it, but like I remember I had a list of like calling people like the worst, like the biggest assholes in the series. Like I had like Demon King, Supreme Deity second, like first and second, and then I would have like Meliodas and Rueduciel. Like Meliodas, I will put him third, and I'll put Rueduciel fourth. That's how crazy it is. Like Rueduciel is a fucking asshole too. Like, but I think Meliodas is just a lot worse because like he didn't do shit for peace. Like people like to say that, and like the series can like to say that he did it for peace, but like clearly he didn't. You look at his actions, like if he did fall in love with Elizabeth, none of this shit would happen. Like he would probably still be more like fucking murderous than whatever he is right now, and like he's still very murderous right now. Like maybe now a bit less, but like he almost fucked the world over. So okay, so I'll say the things that matter. Right after he right before he betrays the clan, he kills two of the commandments, and then he starts to fight for peace. Like what the fuck? Like does this sound right to you? Like even if you want to say like oh they're like these two commandments are assholes, and like then like just lock them up or something. Like Meliodas can do that. Like remember the chapter where like he took his magic and then he makes Zeldris and Air Sorcerer not move. Like he would just send them to the fucking floor, and when he let go, they couldn't stand up. Like he could just do that to his two commandments and then just put them in chains or some shit. Like he didn't have to kill him. There's definitely ways that he could just not kill him. And like the Q&A says that he was a hunter, like mercenary and shit. Like what the fuck? Like even if you say, oh, he's just killing bad people, but like like that's that even that's kind of like a gray area. But what if he wasn't killing bad people? Like and season one, he was willing to kill all the knights. Like when he did full counter, he was like, go for the fucking kill, fellas, and he was pissed. But it's okay, it's okay, everyone. He did it for love, so it's fine. Um, dude, just so much fucking wrong. Like in the arc when like King and Diane traveled as Drew and Costinia, like the first thing they saw was like, oh shit, he holds a sword, and then he immediately like fucking kills a shit ton of demons. And you know what Elizabeth did? She like talked to them and had them leave. Like you can maybe argue like, oh, like Meliodas couldn't do that because they really hate him. But like, first of all, they also hate Elizabeth a shit ton because she's a goddess. And second of all, he can just do the same thing that I just talked about. Like just like use his magic to hold on Zeldris and Escanor, and he could just do the same thing to them. But I guess he saved Monspeet and Derieri for some fucking reason. Like why? Like he was fine with killing those demons, but fine with saving Monspeet and Derieri. It seems like he just do things because he just want to. Like Meliodas is a fucking asshole, and I don't know why people say like Tristan's a fucking spoiled kid when his dad is a mass murderer, and like he did it for love, like which is like wow, that's very cool. But like you can honestly argue that Rueduciel does this work. Like that's how bad it is. But yeah, he's probably really interesting. There's good things about Meliodas. He's probably the first smartest of the sins. Like he's very tricky. He acts very dumb. It's actually really hard to read him. So he's like very smart. He's like in a way that like he will trick you. Maybe not trick you, but like he would deceive you pretty well. Like you're not acting this guy do anything. He has this derpy face, but then he would just fuck you over. And like yeah, but yeah, I mean his powers are pretty cool. Like the tapioca when like he used the fucking tapioca and just like slammed the demon. I think that was Trillion Dark, the tapioca attack he used. But yeah, I think like he's still pretty interesting, but like this guy's a fucking asshole. um. Kind of agree with that, but I don't think they are as annoying. I'll talk about King first because I don't really like him. He's like neutral for me. Like I probably have him as the same level as Escanor. It's just that like I just don't think he's as overrated, and like there's not people like yelling King quotes every day, so which makes him kind of like easier. It makes him an easier pill to swallow. He's actually I kind of like him more because before that I'll probably have him lower, but now he's like probably I have him neutral or slightly higher. I think his early seasons were like he was really cool and ruthless, but at the same time, it was very annoying because he would start beef with anyone. Like Halbum died a total of 4 times, by the way. So the first time he kills him because Halbum was killing like every single human he sees. The second time, I think it was the first fight in season 1. And then he just go ballistic, and then like King had to use the thing, and he slashed him in 2 or something. I think it's that. And then the third one was that when he got resurrected by like some dark magic or some shit, and then like King has to kill him with sunflower. And then the fourth time was when shit, what's his name? Oh, the fourth time was when Mel's gonna use like Meliodas rage, and then like Diane crushed his helmet, hoping that it would like stop her anger or some shit. So yeah, so out of 4 times that Halbum died, King killed him 3 times. Dude, this is his best friend. Oh my god. Like what the fuck are you? Are you touched or some shit? Like, but okay, on the other side, I think King, he went to just like he would just get easily emotionally like irritated to be like to be more calm is good. Honestly, I think what's this fight? Oh, the paper bag. Oh, the Mael fight. Yeah, when he has like the paper bag on his head and he was like totally not in the zone. Like he was like fucking going crazy, and then King read his mind. He was like saying 1,000 words, and like King was like, "Oh shit!" Like, and I think that was a pretty good fight to show like how much King has grown as a person. Because like he was always good and stuff. He was like, oh, really strong, really talented, etc. But like, I think he was missing that piece, and I think now he got that piece. He's just a more refined fighter. Also, I don't know why people call King smart. Like he's not dumb, but he makes up shit. He's really emotionally driven, which I guess makes him human. But like he's definitely not smart in that sense. He's probably 4th smartest or 5th. I'm not sure. Like I think him and Bond are close, but that's something I don't really want to talk about because that's like a whole can of worms. Diane is she's kind of an. I think the arc where she's really annoying was that in the Holy War arc, like the 3,000 years ago Holy War arc. When she was in Joel's body and then she was like she was doing some cringy shit, like super cringe shit, like oh my god, like I love that arc to death, and I just made a video about it, but like holy, like I just didn't want to listen to her. Like thankfully the animation was bad, so I could just skip it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to just like no, like gonna skip it. But I like hear some scenes of her just talking, and I was like, oh, like holy fuck, like I don't know. I think I like Diane a lot more now. I think she's just a really nice person. Like people give her a lot of shit for. I mean, people did give her. I don't think they. I don't know if they do anymore. They gave her a lot of shit for making Elizabeth remembering her memories and stuff. But now I think people are starting to kind of give Meliodas a lot of shit for that, for not telling everything. Which I was on the side of giving Diane shit too. But now I'm like, oh, Meliodas was probably more responsible for that. And I think her and Gowther friendship was pretty good. Same for King and Gowther, but I think Diane and Gowther was just like way better. And I think I have this. I may just talk about that later. Hardcore Chion's haters. Yeah, this applies to everything. I think people can hate a character while hating everything else about them. Like I think people do that. Like you can still be biased. You can just appreciate some things that you like about a character. Like I quite clearly don't like Escanor, but I think he's a nice guy, and his quotes are pretty cool. I just think it's really annoying when people repeat it for the 1,000th time. And that's just what I think of that character. But dude, Chion haters are like a fucking cult. Like it was so bad. I remember. I mean, I don't know now. It's probably better because they showed a backstory, and now everyone's like jumping on the side. Like this is like the fucking goat. That's what happened with Gowther. Like people hated the shit out of this guy. Like they were like, "Oh, this guy's a femboy, whatever." And then the backstory, everyone that was not on his side, like suddenly just loved the character. And like he's not just a regular family. He fucked the girl to death. Holy fuck! Holy shit! That guy was crazy, but. It's almost like the same as Rueduciel, but like I actually think Rueduciel deserved more shit because like that guy is a bigger ass whatever Chion has done. Like Chion is not good, but like he's far from the worst person. And like he's as bad as season 1 Holy Knights. He's probably like he actually might be still better than his dad, like Gowther. But yeah, dude, Chion hate is so weird. Like it's just crazy. I remember that one time there's like a chapter in the Four Knights of Apocalypse, so there's a panel or like a situation that shows that Arthur is literally enslaving demons, and then just like Chion just showed up, and then I think he just like stood beside Jade or some shit, and then people were like, "Dude, fuck Chion, man," and they didn't shit about Arthur. Like Arthur is like fucking like he's about to like eradicate people, and people are like, "Fuck Chion, man." Dude, people are crazy, and like I remember this being Rueduciel, and I was used to be like, "Yo, Rueduciel's an asshole," but like. It's like so was the rest of the people in the Holy War, and this is a war. So like, what did you expect? And somehow Chion's situation was worse than that, which is crazy. Go. Yeah. Okay, I have a part a lot about it. So let's go first. My favorite character and probably my favorite character in all of anime as of right now. It used to be Topi, but I think that changed. I think Gowther, like entire character in the series, is a journey. It's not about like the things that happen. It's about the entire journey, not just like one or two things. And I think that's really different. Like I think it's a big contrast to like Escanor, like oh here's a lot of cool movements, like oh it was all cool quotes. Like Gowther was never really about that. It was about like how he like kind of like evolve as a person, I guess. And I think I like that more. Some people might not, because some people just like cool quotes, like whatever Escanor said on screen. Or like whatever Meliodas did with like full counter, just him saying full counter the 40th time in a row. But yeah, I think Gowther was very controversial. I think he was in the similar situation of like the Chion situation. Like I think if I remember correctly, I'm probably wrong with this, but like I think people gave the English dub actors some like hate mail or like death threat or some shit because people are crazy. Like they would hate a character so much that they would hate a voice actor. Like what the fuck? Like what the fuck is wrong with people? They're just doing their job. Like okay, whatever. Gowther and this he actually might be the closest to every deadly sin. I think he's actually the least close to Meliodas and Bond. Yeah, probably. Like he never really talked with Bond, but I mean the deadly sins are kind of like dislocated. They're like disjoint for most part. Like Escanor didn't fucking talk to anybody. Like he talked to like some people, and that was it. And yeah, maybe I think Meliodas' case is kind of weird because Meliodas does know his creator, so like I guess he kind of doesn't like they still understand each other. Like that's pretty clear. Like in the scene like where Gowther goes ballistic and like he like attacks Diane and then Gowther was like lock me up. Like Meliodas clearly knew what was happening. He just doesn't really like to be the person to just like step up for most of the time because he just doesn't want work and shit. Um, him and Escanor, Gowther and Escanor friendship was actually pretty good. But I feel like no one talks about that because people don't like Gowther, so they would rather sacrifice that to not talk about it, which is honestly one of Escanor probably best traits. It's like how he's such a good guy to Gowther. Like he was willing to take an L against him, so like he wouldn't hurt his friend. Like people don't talk about that. People would rather talk about like, oh, who decided that for the 20th billion time, but not that. And like he like yeah like he's just a like Gowther and Escanor and like was a very nice guy and they are and like Gowther was probably the person that actually understood what Escanor wanted. Like I mean he has mind telling abilities but yeah like it's great that Escanor had someone to rely on because like his parents were a piece of shit and I'll say his brother more but like his parents still should have listened to his side and like everyone treated Escanor like a time bomb because he was and like he ended up with having like Gowther, Merlin, and Meliodas mainly that like kind of gave a shit about him. So I think Gowther was a pretty big part of how Escanor even functioned as a person. If I'm being honest, even though Merlin exists, I think Gowther is a pretty important part to him as a friend. Gowther and Merlin's interesting, I guess, but like wow, his creator is her teacher, so I mean like obviously they know each other. But let me think what other sins. I talk about Meliodas, Bond, Escanor, Merlin. So what I have was Diane and King and Diane and King, yeah, because there's seven and Gowther is the seventh. King and Gowther, friendship was good. Actually, I think it was really good. I think it was pretty good in the beginning, and then it started to be like, oh, we're everyone just friends now. Like in the beginning, it was pretty rough. Gowther is a really fucking awkward person. Yeah, he's like I'll talk about this later, but yeah, Gopher is really fucking awkward. Like he does some pretty crazy shit, type some shit that he should have not done, like brainwashing the end. Like I think he removed memory, which was honestly pretty annoying. I think that's just one of his worst aspects. Kind of understandable, but still, it just drags down the plot for no reason. He could have done a lot more things. But yeah, I think in the fight against Chandler, they two both work together, and it's pretty clear that they still haven't really made up because of how like King is probably still pissed off. There's like a scene of how Gowther, Escanor, and King actually go drinks, and Escanor was like he was trying to be the middleman and stuff, and then Gowther heard something was like, wow, King still hates you and stuff. I think that's pretty good because it took a lot of chapters for them to for King to really forgive him, which I think it's good because like it's at the same time you can say, wow, King's such a petty bitch or something, even though no one will say that because a lot of people love King. But I think it makes a lot more sense because like people hold a grudge, man. Like it's hard to let go of a grudge, so that's why. And they just kind of became really close afterwards. Like not super close, but like just pretty. Yeah. Gowther and Diane friendship might actually be in contention for one of the better friendships in the series. Yeah, no one just talks about it, I feel like. Because like people kind of just think Diana's just like huge, kind of cringy cute girl and that's it, and then like no one like people don't have a really positive opinion on Gowther. Even when they do, they don't really like the other character just like completely like jump them in terms of like the voices because I was like, oh, I'd rather talk about this character. Which I guess is fine, but yeah, I think King and sorry, not King. Diana and Gowther was like a really friendship of just like being not not like really understanding each other to be like really close friends. I think having Diane being kind of naive. I don't want to call her dumb. I don't think Diane's dumb. She does some stupid shit sometimes, but I don't think she's necessarily dumb. She's just a bit naive. She's a good person, but like she's just like she'll get pissed and do her shit when things don't go her way, which I think it's pretty respectable. So yeah, I think Gopher Gopher's good. I think he's actually a really relatable, at least for me. I think like I was like the awkward kid, and I did do a Gopher cosplay for Halloween. That was a long time ago, but it's pretty fun. Just good to say about him. I think Gopher's like that awkward guy. Everyone has a Gopher in their friend group. It's either that you have someone like Gopher that's like pretty awkward, he kind of doesn't blend in, or you're the Gopher in your group. Honestly, if you don't have a Gopher in your group, then like honestly, your group just have like everyone being the same exact person, which I guess hey, some people like that, so that's up to them. Um, this is very debatable, but that's what I think. I think I don't know if overrated is the right word. Maybe highly rated. King. I think Bond is good, but I think whatever place most people put him, he's like maybe like one place above where he should be, just by like a little bit. There's a lot of good things to say about Bond. He's very human. Like you really you do feel bad for him a lot of times. So, which is like we want to prove to him. I think that's the most important thing to say. Like when before he went to purgatory, he was fucking garbage. But like people didn't really ridicule him for that. I mean, some people did, but like everyone did feel bad for him. And when he went to purgatory and got out, and he got really strong. So yeah, I think he's also like pretty outgoing, and I think he's like pretty good character to dive in terms of like depression and trauma. Maybe trauma more. I think he probably has depression, but I think trauma is a really thing, and he's just acting carefree to really hide that part. And I think a lot of times when you see him get serious, it's a lot more different because like people think, I don't know if people think he's dumb, but there's a lot of times he looks like he's just like kind of like a dumb drunk guy that just like do whatever he wants, and that's kind of true. But I think he does that to just hide his traumas and stuff, or he just don't want to talk about it. I'm guessing that's probably why. But yeah, he's good. There's a lot of good things we'll say about Bond. He's like a really good friend. Like if you want a friend in real life, you will want Bond. Like he can cook. He fucks around. He drinks a lot. He gets drunk easily. He does some stupid shit. Like that's a pretty good friend choice. And like he's serious when he needs to be. He doesn't happen often, but he will be serious. Right, so that's good about him. I don't know if I agree with this anymore. I mean, Arthur is still kind of weird in that sense that because in the sequel we know nothing about him. But other than that, I think Arthur is just I think in Seven Deadly Sins the hardest character to understand is Rueduciel. And I think in Fortnite Apocalypse, as of right now, it's going to be Arthur. So yeah, because I think what happened to him I think Arthur is probably right now the hardest character to understand because like now he's like the villain in Fortnite Apocalypse. And here's the thing with most villains in Seven Deadly Sins. When he starts, you know him as a villain. That's it. Like they're like, oh, Dreyfus Anderson, villain. Fraudulent villain. Tenkaman's villain. You first all know them as a villain, and even if they had even the backstory, it's just flashback. But for Arthur, you see him change. You see the things he go through. So like, I feel like you have to reread a lot of Arthur chapters to really see like why is he like this. I mean, it obviously doesn't justify what he's doing, but like, it's kind of like I think it's a path of him like being mentally deconstructed. I think he's actually really similar to Injustice Superman in this case. Like unironically, they both represent hope, and I think Arthur was being betrayed by his people a lot of times, especially Meliodas. Meliodas literally like betrays him, or he's maybe like Black Adam in terms of like he's still like they're both fucked up, but they still give a shit about their people. So that's what I think about it. So yeah, because like Arthur, people keep forgetting, dude. Like Arthur was like 16 in Seven Deadly Sins, and like the kind of shit that happened to him was like really crazy. Like for instance, Camelot gets destroyed by demons, and then Meliodas does help in some case, but at the same time, I think he debatable, but I think Meliodas actually bring more harm than good to Arthur, but you can say there's at least good to it. But even then, if you want to say equal, then sure, I wouldn't really be too angry at that. But at 16, he sees war and shit. Like he wasn't really into as a kid. Like he was really enthusiastic. He was having like, it's like, oh, I'm going to beat you, Hendrickson, and all that stuff. Like you see him smiling. And then when Galan fucking shows up and destroys like a good chunk of Camelot, he was terrified. Like, I mean, Elizabeth was also 16. She held it fine, but like, what do you expect a 16-year-old teenager to do in a war, dude? Like I'm sorry, like most people are just on Discord, and probably for most people older than him, anyways. Like, so, and yeah, and then his kingdom gets enslaved by fucking demons, and that includes Zeldris, Meliodas, Cusack, and Chandler. He fights all four of them, and then he fucking dies. And then when he wakes up, the cat that he thought that he was what was on his side fucking ate his arm away, and then tell him that Camelot is completely demolished from the fight between the Sins and the Demon King. Like like no wonder why he becomes like a fucking crazy person now. It doesn't make him justifiable, but like you like it's like you can see why that he's like this fucked up. Like it's not for no reason. Like obviously you can have like I don't believe in the bad past equal like I can do whatever the fuck I want. But like having bad past like shifts the way you see the world. Like it's like oh obviously Mael's a good guy, but like fuck no. Like it's fucking not a good guy. Like he's a simp. And then like he does good thing when Elizabeth tells him he's like yes queen, like I'm gonna do it, yes queen. But yeah, like no wonder why like Arthur is such a fucking crazy person now. Like and he's like really fucking crazy, like really crazy. But like just saying that he did it because like he's like stuck up bitch would not make sense. Because he went through some shit. And a lot of them were really fucked up. So yeah. He's still pretty weird. Like I think like the fact that like was he controlling chaos and shit that's still like in discussion probably speaks to like how he's still not gonna be understood for a very long time. I just talk about this, but yes, Meliodas is a Fatesman's son. Like, dude, Tristan is like it's like the nicest guy. He's actually like a cinnamon roll. Like he's like such a nice guy. He's kind of like a doormat at times. He's like kind of like people would just step on him and he would say yes to anything type of guy. And then like dude like people think like Tristan hating demons is stupid, but like clearly not. Like his dad was fine with killing demons, and then his dad killed everyone from any race. Like demons. Like okay, here's the thing. In Britannia, what happened 16 years ago before Tristan was born? What happened 16 years ago was, let me tell you, Fraudulent like fucking like destroyed Leonis from the internal perspective, and then he got a shit ton of people killed, and then the Ten Commandments came back, and then they ate souls of random civilians. Like no wonder why he hates them. And this is like not even saying that Goddess Clan is good because they're not. Like they were brainwashing people and shit, but like they probably like Goddess Clan probably still did more good than Demon Clan. That's how fucked up they are. Like it's not because the Goddess Clan is good. I mean, he could be fed like fake false information, but even then, like Tristan might even still consider the Goddess Clan like slightly better. But yeah, like dude, like there's so many wrong things like with that, and like Tristan doesn't even hate his dad. Like I don't know why people getting this shit from I mean, he's like a fucking teenager. Like, there's like time he doesn't want to talk to his dad and he prefer his mom. Like his dad fucking chose him when he was like 10. Like he ended up having Gowther giving him a PTSD of seeing his mother dying 107 times on stream, and then he would just see his mom die. Oh my god, like so much thing to say about this. And when he said like he was really disrespectful to his dad, like he wasn't controlling in this form. Like you know what happened in season 1 when Meliodas did that? He chopped Bond in fucking half, and in this form, Tristan just said, don't interrupt. Like you're not helping me in some shit. Like I think some verbal thing is much more better than like getting cut in half, dude. Like not saying that Tristan probably can't cut Meliodas in half, but like there's a difference. Meliodas spent 3,000 years like as a demon at the very least. Tristan spent 16 as a half demon, by the way. So take that into mind, and like he has Goddess Clan blood or whatever inside him too. So like we fucking works against each other. And like another thing is that like he probably isn't proud to have Meliodas as that. I mean he kind of does, but like logically speaking he shouldn't. This guy, like, if you look from the surface, you will see that, like, oh, he betrays his clan, kills a shit ton of people, and then like he kind of sets the war aflame, and then like he got cursed for 3,000 years, and then like he marries his mom at the end, like, and he like if the fight against Demon King, like he could shift the balance and almost fuck everything up, but it's okay, He did it for love, so obviously everything's obviously fine with that. Like, like if he knew about history, like Tristan would actually hate everyone. He actually might hate his mom too, but like Meliodas does deserve some hate from his son. Like that's like that. I don't think that's like that's justifiable. Yeah. I think back then was this like I had like a maybe like a pie, like in terms of like a pie chart, and then I will have like Zeldris and enslaved people, and then like everyone around Zeldris are fucking weirdos, and then I'll have like that like a maybe like 50% or something, and then the other part was him being fucked up, but he was like kind of being told to do that. But now I don't really like I feel like he like dude, he had to deal with Esteros, I'll say that much. That guy's fucking crazy. But like Zeldris is a fucking asshole too. And like he's very like okay. So he did the same thing as his brother. He does it for love. And he kills a shit ton of people as an executioner to protect his love and like his dream of having peace in the underworld by killing people and have people accept him. Like that's like a good thing to go for, but like you're killing people to have peace. Like wasn't that what Rueduciel was doing? He was doing that too, and like no one calls him a good guy. So yeah, I mean like I think a lot of things when I think of like atrocities that yes, you're not 100% responsible, but like it should be at least like you should be at least remembered by it. Like I think like Mael should be remembered for killing like demons and shit, and like other people. Mael should be remembered for like wiping like a shit ton of demon civilians, and the list goes on. And I think like Zeldris are remembered for like enslaving Camelot because he did it, right? Like I guess like oh the Demon King forced him, but like he still fucking did it. So that's where I stand from that. But yeah, I think I have slightly gone less favor of him, but like I just think like his brother's a piece of shit though. Like Meliodas, dude, I don't know who's a better brother for him. I don't know. I actually think Esteros might be a better brother for him. Esteros was like, dude, Esteros was on fucking like crack like every time he showed up because something was wrong with him. And then Meliodas, he came back to see his brother, and he like fucking like stamped him to the ground, and then like basically blackmails him into helping him. Dude, like, like Meliodas is a shit brother. Like it was so bad that like he needed a movie to put like the Curse Twilight movie, which was like a really fucking weird power scaling movie to like power scale from to like show that oh he's actually a good brother, guys. Like he's really good, man. But yeah, also, in the war, like everyone kind of did feel bad. Like Mael was like, "Oh shit, I didn't know that what I did was actually really bad." Same with Rueduciel and Meliodas or Automio, etc. Like Zeldris didn't feel shit, by the way. Like you're just like, "Oh, he fought the Demon King. Like he would have had to fight him anyway because he fought him because like he wondered what was happening to Gowther. Like that's it. He didn't care about anyone else. Like the Sins, like he was attacking the Sins, and then like the Sins like save his ass. Like you can say, "Oh, he's a tsundere," which is true, but like. Just say something, or just do something, because he clearly didn't. Zelda's a fucking asshole too. Like, he's just not. His brother's a way bigger one. Okay, this is gonna make people sad, but I think this is not even that hot of a take. Derieri is so carried by her looks, and same for Jericho. I think people started actually giving Jericho shit because because of what happened with Lancelot. But even before then, like people didn't like the people that realized that Jericho was always pretty fucking weird. Like she always wanted to dress up as a male to have respect and shit. And like she crushed on Bond when she was like 8, and Bond was like 19. Like, and then like she fell in love with Bond because what he did to her goals. Like, dude, she's fucking weird. Like she's like really weird, and she was never gonna be interesting. The only interesting part was that when she like cried and then like she summoned ice power. That was the only cool thing she had, and I think the other part was her breaking Galan's like golf ball, and then he just threw a second one. Like there's nothing really that interesting about her. It's like she's so carried by her looks, and like if Jericho looked like Grey Road, no one would like this character. Maybe like 2 or 3. Like in like like those voting things. Like they're like, oh, this fucking tree in chapter 27, panel 15. There's a tree that looks like a Christmas tree. That thing got 2 votes. Like if Jericho looked like Grey Road, she would get 2 votes, maybe 3. Like no one would like the character. They'd be like, oh, this person appeared in season 1. Like and then she appears sometime in season 2, and that's it. She'll be as a member as the other people. Derry is so overrated. There's nothing really that. She's actually more interesting than Jericho. I'll give her that much. She's like in the same situation as King. Like she's very emotionally driven. She does a lot of dumb shit at times. Like I think the dumbest thing, like people, like you remember like how people gave Torment a lot of shit for like letting Mael go, but like as bad as that is, you may think Torment had a reason. So they actually got Torment in that situation in the first place. People don't like to talk about that because they like Derieri and they don't like Torment. I mean, like people like started to heavily dislike this character the second he did that, which is understandable. Hey, I think actions should be remembered because I also don't like Derieri because of that one action. But like when Esterosa came in, he found Monster in Derieri. Derieri throws a punch. Esterosa gives her a full counter and then completely demolishes her. Like he like noticed her in panels. Like it was looking really bad. And then somehow when Monspeet did that switch, and then she thought he was knocked out, she decided that it was a good decision to walk towards Esterosa, someone that beat her in a few panels earlier. Like, what was she gonna do? Like, ask him what he fucking wants for his Happy Meal? Like, what was she gonna ask him? Like, and then she literally got Monspeet killed. Like, she just did it because she walked forward. She had no reason to walk forward. And like, the other interesting part with her is maybe her sister died and then she just get pissed. And maybe Indra. Like, wow, really cool. Like, Monspeet had that too, but like she's also getting Omega carried by looks. Like, I think like if she looked like Grey Road, she would maybe have like 15 votes. She will have more than Jericho because she actually is probably more interesting and stuff. But like, it's not by much. Like if you take looks out of the picture, like you will. I think like a lot of people say like okay, obviously first of all you can have good looks and have be interesting character, but people would look at looks and then like, oh, that's why this person is a good character. Like it's not that it's just human nature, but like you can admit that like you like the character because of her looks. Like yeah. So yeah. Like they're getting Omega carried by looks, like super Omega carried. Dude, this thing is so. This is not a hot take. I think not that much of a hot take. I think if I said like Rueduciel first 10 chapters is the best character debut in the series, I think that might piss people off. But I think it is. I don't think there's anything to really say about it because his other chapters like kind of suck. If I'm being honest. Like the other chapters, like his other chapters is mostly him being cocky, and then he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna win this shit," and then he like starts winning really good, and then he starts losing because he's so cocky, because he's like, "No way you can beat me, man." Like he's like, "No," I don't know how to say no in Japanese, or like he's like, "No way," and then he fucking like slap every time he starts out, he's like, here's like, I'm gonna even type it. This is gonna make it funnier. He's like, here. Starts off winning. Gets cocky. And underestimate people. He gives the enemy the opportunity to show their new power up. Indra. This Nebula. And Crisis. Starts losing. Like, you can't even debate about that. I hate this. I like this character, but like, holy shit, this happens every time. Like, dude, like, in that fight against Indra, what if he was so cocky? Instead of being cocky, he uses Grace of Flash to just like blitz them and then just take their hearts out before they do the curse and then just kill them. Like that, the war might have been over from there. Like Omnis Nebula, he's fastest character. Like how the fuck could Gilthunder like be faster than him in that tanking attack? Like he was emotional, yes, but this is Rueduciel, like one of the strongest, like probably top 10 or even like higher in terms of power ranking. Like the only fight that he doesn't fucking sandbags, it's against the original demon and the Demon King, and of course he doesn't like beat them in 1v1 because those guys are fucking crazy. He kind of does beat the original demon, but then he gets cocky and then he didn't like know that Crisis 1 wasn't active, and then like he will probably tie with them. Like, oh man. But his first chapter was really good. I'm surprised I didn't talk about that. But first chapter established like he's really strong, he's really cocky, who he is as a person. Actually, yeah, like dude, have you seen his hair? His hair could be a mop if you turn it upside down. Like you can use him as a mop to clean things up, literally to clean things up. I think like he's actually pretty decent look. He's actually pretty good looking. I'm gonna be honest, but yeah, if people, I don't get it. Like, I think Mael and Rueduciel are pretty good looking, and Meliodas and Zeldris looks like fucking kids. Everyone's like, oh, Zeldris is so hot, Meliodas is so hot. Like, and then people are like, oh, like, don't do that shit. And then he was like, oh man, they're so hot and cute. But then they're like, okay. But aside that, I think like he's like Rueduciel has a look, like he's good looking, but like he has that divine, you see this guy, you think he's like God or something. I think that's like probably like what makes him pretty outstanding. And also he's like like how fucking dangerous this guy is, and you're like I'm so grateful that this guy is on my team despite the shit he does. So I think that's like probably why he has really good chapters. And he barely even appears, I mean not even barely. Like he's not even the main focus for the chapters. Like the main focus was like a lot of people. It was Elizabeth, Meliodas, like Sorio, Tarmio, the few of the Ten Commandments, etc. He's only part of it. Like he was first one of the major ones, like him and Elizabeth. But like the fact that he doesn't have Ross panels and then he did it with roughly chapters is kind of crazy. I kind of change about this. I think Monspeet was like one of the Shizui Uchiha situation that like this guy is goated, but we don't know how goated. And I think Monspeet is kind of slightly weaker in that terms because like people rate Shizui as kind of god, which I kind of agree. And like Monspeet is like he's nowhere near god, but like this guy is a problem if you take him lightly. Very smart, very calm. Someone that really fits Derieri to like make sure she doesn't do some really stupid shit. Like, yeah, I think I really like this character. I think like he's not a good guy, like obviously, but he's kind of like what he does is I'll say respectable. I'll say so. Like what he does, he just has a mission, and it doesn't matter. Like if protecting Derieri means that she has to kill everyone, he will kill everyone. So I think it's like kind of like. Damn, this sucks that one of the people died. Like, probably kind of like the Meliodas, like, killing everyone for Elizabeth, or is there just killing everyone for Gowther? But it's kind of like, damn, you kind of fucked up. But, like, it's kind of like he has a goal, and I think it's, like, kind of respected in that sense, but still kind of fucked up. Yeah, actually really smart, probably in contention about the smartest, doesn't get the opportunity to show everything because they're fucked him over. Yeah. I think I really like this character. I think he just had a lot of potential, but his potential was never really uncovered, and then he died before he got to really do anything, which is unfortunate. Huh. When did I write that? I think I talk about this in terms of when he got his power back. When he got Sunshine back, like, he was throwing hands, dude. Like he was going crazy. Like, he one-shots the original demon, but, like, that was slightly better. That looked better than it actually is because of like the original demon not being 100% in the mental state. Like they're both kind of arguing. And when he fought Zeldris, like people like to say that they're equal, but like it's so weird. But I guess like in the Curse of Light, like Zeldris looks like 500 times more stronger than Mael, and that just makes no sense at all. like there's no way in the universe that happens. But in that fight, Mael could maybe just one shot Zeldris, if I'm being honest. like like people like to say the fight is equal, which I think it's like medium difficulty or maybe high. I would say high because of personal light, but like maybe medium would be more suitable. Here's what Mael could do. If he lands Arrow of Salvation onto Zeldris, he might just kill him. That's what he did to Derieri. Obviously, Derieri and Zeldris are not the same. Zeldris is stronger, but I don't think that like saying that like it wouldn't one shot him, saying that like that thing would one shot him wouldn't be a stretch. That's what I think. Like it's definitely possible. Maybe it will take 2 arrows, 3 arrows, maybe. Maybe it will take 3 arrows or 2 arrows. But like Mael can miss 1,000 arrows or have the Zeldris, like his power god, like eat up a lot of arrow salvation. But he needs to hit it once. And like if that thing's a physical attack, like Zeldris, it's completely done. Like he's gonna low diff him, like pretty convincingly. And funny enough, in the physical department, Zeldris is said to be equal or even greater than Meliodas. Mael was matching him and going easy on him. Yes, he does land some hits and he makes it look better than it is, but that's an adrenaline rush. Because Zeldris, like Mael constantly said, Zeldris, you're not looking at yourself, you're not as calm as you used to be. And Zeldris was clearly like having his eyes on the prize, on getting Gowther out, and clearly Mael was like this Mael was going easy on Zeldris. He just got Sunshine back, and then he almost died to the commandments, by the way. So take that into consideration. But for Zeldris, he was kind of being handicapped as well. He had to fight almost everyone in that sense. But yeah, other than that, I think Mael completely it's like another tier. But player the series doesn't show like he's that on the other tier. It's just like he feels he should be on the other tier, on another tier. I think Mael, in terms of as a character, was not as interesting. But I think after I think rethinking a lot of parts, I think he's actually like what he goes through is actually kind of more common than you think. Like obviously, like no, like you're not going to kill random civilians like demons in that sense. But I think like what he does is like the realization of like what you believe for 50 years was actually not right is actually kind of more relatable than you expect. This is actually pretty common between people because like if you believe something for like 30 years or like 20 minutes, you don't want to believe you're wrong. I think that's what really made him stood out. Like in terms of that, like especially politics or other stuff, because you already believed that thing for so long, so you're not gonna accept it, and you're gonna be stubborn. And I think Mael was being forced. Like he was like because everyone loves to live in an echo chamber. I mean everyone. Like living in an echo chamber is fine, but it's not fine when you're like, oh, you should listen to me because everyone say it's right. I'm like, what the fuck? Like you're probably not right in the first place, and you're right. Like who the fuck cares? Like that's that. And Mael was forcibly ripped out of his echo chamber, and then he had to see how the world really functioned. And I think that really makes him pretty more relatable and more human than I first thought, I guess. So yeah, Mael's actually you actually have to kind of understand the character, and I feel like people will just like, oh, he's worse than Escanor. Oh, I guess that's that. And then there's like, oh, he had Sunshine, but he's a bitch. He ran away. Like, oh my god, it's not like he had trauma or something. Like, that's crazy. Like, he didn't, like, clearly didn't have trauma and he didn't almost die. But I guess that's that. Lancelot is. Yeah, I think he's super overrated. I don't think he's a bad character. I actually think he's better than Escanor already. Escanor was cool. He's a nice fellow, but. Yeah, I think Lancelot is okay, I guess. I don't think there's. I think the fight of him, like, doing that well against Arthur is what really made me go, like, what the fuck is happening? Yeah, like, it's not that I mean, I do like Arthur more than Lancelot right now, but I think there's some things with that. But, how do I say it? I think he's in the situation, but at the same time, Lancelot is like he feels more integrated with the team. I think that's one thing I really like more. Yeah, he's just more integrated with the team. That's what I think, which is nice. I think that's one thing the Sins really struggled before, in terms of like, oh, people would just like not hang over each other and shit. Like they would just not talk to each other. I think Lancelot is already better than that. Like he's actually kind of jokes with Tristan and stuff. He clearly makes fun of him. I just think like he's yeah. I think he's just looking really similar to Escanor 2.0, and he's good. I just like if I rank the four knights, like I will put Tristan number one, Percival number two, Lancelot number three, and then Gawain number four. I still like him more than Gawain, but like I just don't think he's that interesting. At least yet. Like I mean, there's definitely a lot of room to explore with him, but as of right now, he's cool. I guess he's just not as crazy. Sin is. I don't think Sin was necessarily better. Now I think of it, I think Sin was just more mysterious, and then when the mystery like kind of goes apart, like you kind of don't give a shit anymore. I think that was kind of the same thing with Toby and Obito in the beginning, because when he cracked the mask, you kind of don't give a shit anymore. I mean, you kind of do, but like at the same time, you're like, oh shit, like you finally know who this person is, and then wow, now I kind of don't care because your theory about that was kind of destroyed or whatever. So I think Sin was more mysterious. Doesn't I think I kind of think it was slightly better, but I don't think it's that much of a difference now I think of it. Yeah, ish. I think it's still kind of annoying, but I think now the approach I take it is that it's understandable why he's like this. Like Percival was basically dragged out from his world. like dude, like kid's like what, like 16 or something, and then he was like he was being fucking quarantined for like those 16 years. His dad comes back with the milk and kills his fucking grandpa. And then he leaves, and then he's supposed to kill more people. And then he goes on an adventure with a fucking fox, a random girl, a person that makes fucking poison, like Donnie, and just some weird ass people. Like I think he's in a really similar situation, like as a Diane, like how I view them. I think I didn't like Diane to begin with. I mean, she's still not my favorite character, but I think it's just like she's just naive. Like it's fine. Like not everyone's gonna know everything, and that's just the way it is. Like some people are just like not that crazy smart or like not super aware, but what the fuck do you expect from him? Like like dude, he just got like free from the world, and then he sees like all the type of shit happen like a week. Like he sees people dying all over him, and like the fact that he doesn't go insane is actually kind of crazy. And I don't think he's that stupid. I think I said like I think in terms of I think I wrote Percival being stupid. It's more him being clueless. I think like him being clueless was very annoying, but like no, I think I was like well, what the fuck do you expect from him? So yeah. He's kind of fine, but at the same time, I would like him to kind of step up a little bit in terms of that. But I feel like he is already. Like, it's been maybe a week or something, so what the fuck? Like, give him a few months and he'll be fine. Is that it? Okay. This is the last one. I don't think this even is a hot take. It's just me like, getting pissed at things. Goddess Clan Omega screwed over. It's honestly the same situation as Uchiha versus Senju. Or like Uchiha versus Hyuga or other clans. The Demon Clan should be equal to Goddess Clan, but like they got a hollow power-ups. Pressed by Light, the fight against Supreme Deity. For some reason, it was Meliodas and Zeldris against her. I can see why Meliodas would fight her, but Zeldris, he only knows her name. Actually, I don't even know if he knows her name. He had no reason to fight her. Meliodas with Elizabeth would be kind of cool, or having Mael in there would be kind of cool. Or having Meliodas, Zeldris, and Mael fighting together as three brothers against her would be kind of cool, but for some reason we got Meliodas and Zeldris. What the fuck? like maybe like I think like a movie about like dude, this I have so many things about all this. Honestly, having a movie that have like a slice of life on Meliodas and Zeldris like kind of working to have the demon world like work together with like other clan would be more interesting than this movie. This movie has an interesting concept. I'll say that much. Like you can have like Supreme Deity fight her daughter, and like Mael, we're just like her greatest follower, other than maybe Rueduciel. Like it'll be good. Like it'll be like showing like, oh, why does war is pointless? Like what Mael learned was like, oh, everything I did wasn't necessary, right and stuff. But like no, like no, we didn't get that. And like dude, like Rueduciel should like he's almost godlike, and he has some good feats. I feel like his feats are kind of sweep under because he didn't necessarily beat anyone, but like he kind of goes a bit crazy in the later fights. But like he doesn't win because it kind of makes sense logically, even though some other things didn't make sense logically, which is kind of good, I guess. Mael got screwed over because of Escanor, and Escanor kind of got screwed over because he's competing with Mael, so that's the problem. Elizabeth got the worst getting screwed over him. Actually, Supreme Deity actually might have got worse, but like Elizabeth has been rumored to be very long time to be like very strong. Like she's like Archangel level or above, but like some people like to say she's above Mael. Some people like to say she's above Rueduciel. I think all three of them are in the same tier. And because the thing is like her being the same as Archangel, like couldn't she be the same as Sarah or Tarmio? So like I'll be like like her being as strong as Tarmio kind of fucking sucks though. In that context, not that Tarmio is terrible, but like if you're comparing to Mael and Rueduciel, then like Tarmio kind of doesn't mean really anything. So yeah, Supreme Deity in the movie, everyone saw what happened. I don't really have to say much about that. So yeah. So yeah, I don't know. This is kind of it. My hot takes will probably make a lot of people upset. So to the no one that's watching my stream, thank you for coming. So yeah, maybe the next video I'll talk about. I'll just talk a lot of shit about Fortnite's Apocalypse. Okay, thanks everyone.